everyone, it's Jacqueline Kromowski with the Herd Book Ag Media, here to bring you your Moving Iron Ag News update for this next week in July. All the rage here in today's Ag Media has to do with several Democratic members of Congress and the United Food and Commercial Workers, UFCW, have announced their vocal support for the Farm System Reform Act. You may remember this from last year, headed up by Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey and Representative Ro Khanna of California, who have reintroduced this bill that they say would essentially strengthen the Packers and Stockyards Act and kind of crack down on what they determine as quote-unquote monopolistic practices of meat packers and certain corporate integrators, and then would also put a lot of stress on what they referred to as factory farms, or more properly referred to as CAFOs by Booker and Khanna, and hopes to quote, restore mandatory country of origin labeling requirements, unquote. And while some of this does sound a little bit appealing to certain consumers and even certain producers, there has been a lot of discussion on this whole bill, which is essentially targeted at any large mainstream farms, regardless of if they are family owned or not, and would essentially a lot of more animal agriculture advocacy groups have termed as an attack against CAFOs in general. So this one is certainly one to watch, as Booker has made many statements and been outspoken against a variety of topics regarding animal agriculture. In our international news today, glyphosate continues to surge in prices around the globe. Most notably, this herbicide hit a 10-year high when prices in China reached an impressive $8,000 per ton. Moving over to Argentina, this country's government says that they will dedicate over $10 million that would ease trade-related issues and drinking water issues associated with the Paraná River, and which is at its lowest level in nearly 100 years due to drought. And then, of course, in China, domestic hog prices have dropped 50% as this country is still rebounding from the issues of African swine fever. Out of China this week, domestic hog prices are plummeting as high as 50% as the whole country's herd is still on the rebound after issues with African swine fever. And because of this, it is also projected that China's demand for overseas pork is also going to take a hit, with imports being projected to slide another 50%, decreasing in the second half of this year. Moving here back home, as you would expect, with all the debate that has gone on with the recent right to repair, there is also discussion a lot about farmers' data in terms of agriculture technology. Right now, one proposed solution could be non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, that would allow people to purchase and own their data content, all based around blockchain technology. This would give them this has an entirely unique software code that would consist of smart contracts. Which one is minted onto the token on the blockchain, it would be permanent. So this means that ag tech companies would attach an NFT to a specific data set, then it would be uploaded to servers, and then create a single data set for farmer data originators, and copies of this data would violate the owner, or aka the farmer's, original permission. And of course, keep in mind that right now there's still not a lot of oversight regarding ag data. Right now, the only organization working on this is Ag Data Transparent, or ADT, which of course is a voluntary entity as well. It's still not nationally regulated. But behind the ADT is other support coming from notable farmer organizations, including the National Farm Bureau, National Farmers Union, and a few other national commodity organizations. Now, I know we've talked a lot about weather issues here in 2021, but did you know that last year in 2020, the Farm Bureau recently reported that over 22 weather and climate-related disasters, each had damages reaching over $1 billion, hit the United States coast to coast. This data comes from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration and said that last year shattered a previous annual record of $16 billion weather events, occurring both in notable years 2011 and 2017. Over 262 lives have been lost, with over $96.4 billion in total economic damages. Let's hope that this year is not looking to be a competitor to any of that. All right, that should catch you all up for this week. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. This Ag News Update was brought to you by the Herd Book Ag Media, serving all your agribusiness writing, communication, and media needs. Find us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or our company website, the-herdbook.com. Let me know you found about us here on Moving Iron, and I'll give you 20% off your first invoice.